People who have came close to dying, what were your last thoughts? I was on my deathbed and I thought, man, I wish my mother was here. When I woke up at the ICU, she wasn't, nor did she care. Edit. Thank you everyone for the internet kindness. It means a lot. 3. Edit 2. You're all great people. And I very much appreciate all of the sub and mothers. 3. I've had to shit moms. It still sucks. Here's a mom hug from a random internet mom though. You deserve better. Oh shit. My sister had to see me drown. I felt pretty calm about it though. NGL, I'm getting jealous of all the calm drownings happening. Mine was not. My experience was calm. Even though I was only 6 or 7 when it happened. I got trapped in some river debris and I have a very vivid memory of staring up at the water surface and thinking this is the end. What is this idiot doing? Back off truck. Why is my bike above me? Hello sheep. Best one yet. Hope the sheep made it too. Yes, the sheep's thoughts would have been munch, munch, munch. Oh engine noise, more food. Dude, check out the small red flying tractor. Get the farmer. That's not the farmer, run flockers run. Your shoe isn't tied. I said that to my dad before promptly falling down a 20-foot cliff into the underbrush. Broken arm. Fractured skull. Ruptured kidney. Woke up 2 weeks later to my dad saying thanks for letting him know his shoe wasn't tied as he could have tripped. You know your dad spent those entire 2 weeks fantasizing about saying that to you when you finally woke up. That kinda dad joke is once in a lifetime. Nothing. Blacked out. But my thoughts before that was happening was something like I shouldn't have gone out today. Body was going into shock and heart was slowing down really fast. I got knocked unconscious and blacked out from a car accident, and it was nothing. Like you said. Just darkness overwhelming me immediately. I woke up gasping for air and wondering how the police and ambulance knew the accident was going to happen. I had been out long enough for them to arrive and start rending to some of us, but I thought they were waiting for us. Honestly, this is exactly what I imagine death being like, except you don't wake up gasping for air. I almost died in a fiery explosion at my old job. My first thought was, I'm gonna look like such an idiot without eyebrows. So do you still have your eyebrows? We need answers. As I was getting the hemorrhage, I remember thinking how embarrassing it would be to die at a Renaissance fair. Edit, it was the day before my 29th birthday, so I also remember being disappointed I wasn't going to make it to 30. Edit 2. Thank you all for the responses. It seems like choking at a Renaissance fair is actually pretty common. If anyone knows a cigar salesman that was working at Scarborough Fair 6 or so years ago, give him my thanks for saving me life. My heart stopped beating for 7 seconds while I was eating dinner in my hospital bed waiting to be discharged. I realized I was going to pass out and put my arm across my plate so I wouldn't fall face first into it. All I could think of was, this is gonna make a mess. Glad they took their time with the paperwork. Ended up walking out of there 7 days later with a pacemaker at the age of 46. Edit. Holy shit. Thanks for all the well wishes. I'm 57 and retired now. Still have AFib and can't do much of anything without becoming totally exhausted. Nothing seems to work. Now that I have the time, I don't have the energy to do much at all. Just gonna ride it out and call it a day. What were you hospitalized for? Heart related issues or something else? Shit, wasn't the car that hit me white? Apostrophe. As I'm looking down at a car underneath me, I'd been hit hard enough I bounced up over the car that hit me and had enough air time to clear the second one. Props to the driver of the third vehicle. He must have stood on the damn brakes the moment he saw me, because he brought the cement truck to a stop before it got to me. Second time I was hit by a car as a pedestrian. I'm now much more careful crossing streets. Not that it's helped much. I seem to have a car magnet in my ass. Hello. Have you ever had a headache that was so bad? I mean, like call your parents and ask them if you were still on the healthcare plan, even though you live in Canada and they live in the USA. Yes, I've had this pain. I felt as if my head was going to implode. I was half right. I had a brain clot, then bleed. So a stroke and a aneurysm all at once. My last thought, before I regained consciousness weeks later, I don't want to die in this shitty ground level apartment. I had a sudden headache that was so terrible I couldn't even pick up the phone and call 911. It was right after orgasm. Having sex with my girlfriend after a 12-hour car ride. Turns out clots can form when you stay stationary for a long time in a cramped car. And when your blood pressure gets up high enough to blast it from its spot, you have a bad time. The headache was so bad, I couldn't control my arms and legs, and I just screamed. That's it. As I looked at the surface of the water I couldn't reach. Same! Exclamation mark. Then followed it with the thought that this was something dumb you would see someone do on a show that was popular at that time in the 90s. Rescue 911. And that they would probably do a reenactment of how we all went canoeing. Even after we were warned the river may continue to rise while on our trip. I used to watch that all the time. Think it was that show that gave me a fear of snakes being in toilet bowls. My throat feels weird. My gums are itchy and blackness like a deep sleep. Woke up a bit later. Found out I was allergic to crab the hard way. My uncle nearly died that way. He went to sleep after eating crab, and if my grandpa didn't go to the bathroom, he would died. His room was next to the bathroom, so my grandfather heard him struggling. He was saved by the pee. No, he did not pee in his mouth. He called 911. Edit. Fix grammar and clarification. Rip Uncle Millie. God, why can't I breathe right now? Just wish I could breathe. Oh, I'm getting tired. Anaphylactic shock. Each time. It's happened multiple times. Same thing each time. On a ski trip we ordered dessert and my friend had just had a serious allergic reaction the week prior, so still a little freaked she asks the waiter insistently if there's any nuts in the dessert because she's deathly allergic. Dude barely acknowledges her and says no. Dessert comes out, and with the first bite she chomps down on a ducking walnut. Twice in less than 2 weeks for this poor girl. People seriously don't respect food allergies. Was run over by a bus last year. My thought when I went under the tires was, but it's a Wednesday. You were almost a sacrifice to Wednesday frog. My dude. I know, man. Ribbit. I almost died on a mountain last month. The thoughts while I was free soloing the cliff were just I would give anything to be at home safe. I lost a friend a little over a month ago. He fell 600 plus feet. It was probably a loose rock. No one knows. Please don't free solo. There are risks you cannot control. He should be alive right now and having great adventures with his fianc. I was in the process of being electrocuted. Having been working all day atop a scissors lift, the electricians had left the 277 volt line live, and while I was standing and reaching while running the last low voltage run of the job, I contacted their line. I saw the white light at the end of the tunnel. All I knew was throbbing and 60 cycle noise and the white light. My last thought was I wonder if I can tell my knees to unlock. Obviously they did. Since I'm here typing this. Severe electrical burns. Still here living the life. As a teenager, I decided at one point to stick a paper clip in the end of one of those light up candles you place in the windows for Christmas. I remember a blue spark popping out and how I could actually feel the electricity moving from my hand and up my arm. Luckily it didn't get farther than my shoulder, but my heart was kept beating extremely fast for a good 30 minutes or so that jolt really stays with your system for a while. Very cautious around electricity now. 3 times. Once almost drowning deep end of pool at 5. Once trapped under flipped ATV in a river. And once being shot at by a crazy old duck who thought I was a deer. I thought of my mom crying every time. Bro, don't leave your house anymore. I thought about how I didn't buy enough pizzas from my favorite pizza place. It's pretty good. But thinking about pizza when you think you're dying is pretty depressing in retrospect. That sounds like an interesting way to die. Thinking about pizza. Hopefully you stocked up on those pizzas after that. So much so that I'm friends with the owner. And she invited me to her son's wedding. I think I buy too much pizza. Had a stroke last year and was taken to the ER by my brother. The last thing I remember was asking him to take a picture of me with his phone as I must look terrible. After I was admitted, I didn't remember anything other than dreams until late October. And days after I was admitted, when everything was a blank, they induced a coma so that my brain's welling would go down. and I was critical. So I presume I was pretty close to dying then. I'm sorry to be nosy, but that is extremely well written. Did you have any speech or language difficulties after your stroke? What was that bang sound? Did you get shot, or was it a car accident? Nah, someone shot at a moose and scared it, and then it charged at me and almost gored me to death. I should cut that meatball in half. A coworker of mine choked on a meatball too, and he put a fork down his throat to try to retrieve it. He did, but I'm glad he didn't stab himself. Edit. Wow, thank you so much for the award. I'm enjoying reading all of your posts. I can imagine him having to stick a magnet down their necks to retrieve a fork. Who is holding me underwater? I almost passed out. I didn't even know the kid. I can't imagine the struggle. I was just a skinny little kid too. That kid was twice my size. I was stabbed in the neck by someone robbing my house. I totally thought I was going to die. I hate myself. But I begged the guy who stabbed me to stay because I didn't want to die alone. He said sorry and walked away. That ducking broke my heart. Thankfully he called 911 for me. Holy shit, this comment is a wild ride. Just read his second comment below. I can't believe this is how I die. Apostrophe. Drunk. Falling off a 30-foot cliff into about 2 feet of water at Lake Havasu. As on spring break. It just hurt really bad. Yeah, but imagine how bad it would hurt if you weren't drunk first. Being drunk might have saved his life. With his muscles relaxed, there probably wasn't as much of a giant shockwave traveling through his body from the impact. Well. Duck. Apostrophe. Car accident. Me too. Yelled fuck right before the accident. Something tells me that's a lot of people's final words. Ditto. I don't even think I yelled it. Just, like, a statement in my head. I have something wrong with my health where medications are a hard ducking no for me. Oded on normal dose of albuterol. Oded on normal dose of promethazine. Some other ducked up occurrences I don't care to speak about. But anyway, when I oded on promethazine, my fever shot through the ducking roof, 105 to 106, and wouldn't go away. Why? I was in and out of consciousness and my wife said I was talking in my sleep a lot. I legitimately, why, 100%, without a shred of doubt in my mind thought I was in the middle of a war between us, humans, and ducking elves. I was talking about how we had to split the house with them to prevent another war. Etc. TC. My breathing was ducked up. Fever wouldn't go away. I couldn't get up. I couldn't actually sleep. Nothing. So, my last thoughts were, basically, LLY. Hopefully the elves are cool splitting the kitchen cause we need to eat still. Really ducked up time. Nearly was run over in a town square when a car decided to go through it instead of around it and went onto the sidewalk. First and only thing to come out of my mouth to my friend next to me before we dove out of the way. Well, that's not good. I'm gonna die. Thankfully you didn't. No, they did. That's just their ghost on Reddit. Honestly, once with a boulder and once a motorcycle accident. Well, this is gonna hurt. Apostrophe. Weirdly calmed. Mind went quiet. Everything slowed right the duck down. Afterwards though, mine screamed. FWIW car accident 100 phone 270 degree spin in front of an 18-wheeler. Across 2 lanes. Down the embankment and slid between 2 concrete drainage pipes. Could have been hit by the truck. Could have rolled. Could have hit the pipes which would have crushed into me. I thought I was having a drug overdose. I just remember thinking how disappointed my mum was going to be with me. My Bill had a moped incident. He was on a moped. A car T-boned him. And as he was flying off the bike, he thought that his wife, who always was pretty worried about him riding, was going to be quite upset at him. I got hit by a car when I was 15 while I was riding my bike to work. Ended up with a broken ankle, but told the lady I was fine, and she sped off. The only things I could think was 1, fuck, I'm gonna be late for work, and 2, my dad is gonna be so pissed at me when he sees what happened to my bike. So I dragged my bike the last mile to work hobbling on my broken ankle. Adrenaline is a hell of a drug. My dad was not pissed about my bike. He was pissed I ducked up my ankle and walked the rest of the way to work. Just looking at these comments, I didn't realize how many people go through some traumatic shit. Hope you all are doing better. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.